It's your boy Amreezy, and I'm back with another Road to Sorare Boss episode where I document my journey from Sorare beginner, which I still am, to Sorare Boss, which is where I want to be going. Now, I didn't do a video last week because I was away. I was away with the family on a little holiday, so I've kind of got 2 game weeks to kind of review. One of those, Gameweek 435, I did win a card, quite luckily. I was a bit fortunate there. I'll reveal exactly how later in the video. So I've got 2 game weeks to kind of review. The second one, Gameweek 436, where we're halfway through at the moment. We're still playing that. There's a few games tonight. I'm recording this. But I'm doing so bad, and I think all my cards have played that I'm not going to win anything from this week. So I'll review those 2 game weeks, and then I'll preview Gameweek 437, which is the next game week coming. I'll let you know what I'm thinking. It's a little bit of a tricky period for me, and I think most Sorare managers. It's a bit of a break because the only leagues that are playing football over the Christmas period seem to be the English leagues. The English league refuses to stop playing. They will play every single day, and the Italian league. So we've got those, and I think even the Italian league's about to have a little break. So most of my cards are the Premier League cards. If you've not seen the previous episodes, go check them out. Most of my previous cards are Premier League cards, but I do have a few sort of cards that I've been picking up along the way that haven't been Premier League cards. And to be honest, I'm kind of seeing the benefit now of not having Premier League cards and going for these other European leagues where the cards are cheaper, but the players are hitting the same kind of points as your average Premier League player. So I've got some Belgium league players, I've got Turkish league players, and my goalkeeper is from Turkey. So when Turkey's not playing football, I can't enter as many leagues as I want. I love a second goalkeeper. It's one of my priorities. Every week, I just feel it more and more that I wish I had a second goalkeeper, ideally that played in some of the leagues that are playing now, but it can't be helped. So I'm going to review how I've done so far. Let's start off with that by looking at how I did in Gameweek 435. Right then, so there's 2 game weeks that I've kind of got to update you on. Gameweek 435 is the first game week that I entered that I actually won a reward. I won a card. So it was the reward box 270. And as you can see, it wasn't a great score. I didn't do that great. I feel very lucky. So if you're unaware, the reward box special 270 league, Sorare kind of did to kind of encourage people to enter, to get their boxes. And these are new prize boxes where you can kind of win. You're not really supposed to win a card if you finish as low as I did, but there's an 8% chance you'll get a card. And I got a little lucky. I didn't finish that great. I got a score of 251, which is okay. But as you can see, I finished 3,461. Like, that's not a good finish. However, if we look at the prize pool, you can see here, the limited premium boxes are better. Those have, as you can see here, much bigger chances of getting good cards. Tier 3 cards, 15% chances. So you've got a better chance of getting a good card with those boxes. I didn't finish in those places. I finished here. But I entered this competition kind of thinking if I finish in the top 4,200, I get a limited light box, which, okay, it's hard to get some of these. Look how low the fractions are of getting these cards. But there's an 8% chance you'll get a tier 3 card. So that's okay. So I entered that with that, knowing that, and I thought, okay, the level up card is like 91% chance, probably going to get that. I also entered hoping I'd finish higher than where I finished. So I finished in the around 3,000, which meant I qualified for a light box. And I ended up winning a card. Brilliant. It doesn't say the card here. I'm not quite sure why in rewards. So let's look at my club to show you who I won. It's my first player from the Japanese league. It would help if I kind of knew where I was going here. See my cards. Here we go. It is Kota Watanabe. Now, I'm excited about this guy. The last video, I showed you another card that I won, my first card, Atuesta from Palmeiras. He wasn't as exciting because he's not been playing all season, and I know they want to sell him, so he's kind of a card that I was like, okay, I hope he moves to a team in the summer. I think MLS, the league he's rumored to be going for, and I hope he sort of picks up his career and becomes a star there. This guy is playing for his team. They're a good team. I've looked them up. They finished second, so it's Yokohama. They finished second in the J League last season. He's a regular starter. He's got an L15 of 46, but looking at his previous scores here, you know, he gets okay scores. He'd be great for the 220, 240 leagues because his L15 is never going to be super high, but he plays for a good team. He seems to play every game, and he gets around averaging 50s, 40, high 40s, and then now and again, I'd hope he gets a 67, a 62, an 87. So, you know, I'd hope he peaks. He's also still young. He's 24 years old, so I'm also hoping that he's not yet reached his career peak. So hopefully, I still need to research a little bit. When the league starts again, I'll be keeping an eye on him. If he's kind of growing as a player, is he going to be hitting his peak soon? Will his scores be improving? I've got a lot of research now to do on Yokohama and my new boy Watanabe. So he's the card that I won. Very exciting and very lucky. I am thinking, if he's not that great, of selling him. I don't want to sell him now though, because the Japanese league is on a season break. They just ended their season, and I think February is when the season starts again. So yeah, I'm not going to sell him now because the prices are low, but I might sell him if it's not that great. If I see that he's not really cut out. When the season starts, I'm hoping that his price will be a bit higher. So maybe I could sell him then. But for now, I kind of, you know, I'm excited. It's my first Japanese player. It's my first J-League player. So I'm kind of like invested. I'm kind of, you know, going to see if I can win a few rewards and let the rewards decide where I go next season, like which leagues I prioritize. I've got a guy from the Brazilian league now, and I've got a guy from the Japanese league. They weren't cards I would have bought before, but, you know, they're letting me research these leagues. They're letting me sort of see, okay, he scores good points. Has he got a stack I can kind of look around the team? Is there a striker and a defender that could go with him? You know, these are all things that I'm going to look at closer to the Japanese league starting now. So for now, it's our second card that we've won. It's very fortunate, but we're happy. So as we can see here, yeah, reward box 270 was the best league I did. Got a reward, even though I finished 3,004. So very happy. I hope that league comes back again. It doesn't seem to be next week, but I'm delighted. So when Sorare do another reward box special 270, I can see the appeal now for new managers. And I would encourage new managers to keep an eye on that league if it comes back and try and win yourself a box, because I am proof there's a chance you can win a card even if you finish in a bad position. The other league I entered, terrible. Premier League Specialist, nothing to report here. No rewards, 50 coin, nothing here. And then there was a Cap 220, which I also entered, also didn't do great in that. So it wasn't a great week. And then if I look at how I'm doing in the current game week that's happening now, game week 436, I'm also not doing great in this week. I'm struggling with having some Chelsea, obviously by having too many Chelsea cards. And Chelsea struggling, I'm struggling. But this week I made a rookie mistake of playing and captaining Sterling without properly investigating if he was going to play, what he was like. He was suspended. I didn't fully realize he had 5 yellow cards. That's my bad. Lesson learned for the future. I'm not going to become a Sorare boss if I keep making mistakes like this. So I need to sort of do a bit more research on all of the players I pick, basically, especially if I'm going to be captaining them. So that's a mistake I made. The Cap 240 I entered with my goalkeeper not playing. So over the Christmas period, I'm not going to have my goalkeeper playing until the Turkish league resumes. So I'm in a bit of a funny position where I can enter leagues that are like the Premier League Specialist or Cap 220, where I can pick 1 free card and 4 limited like this. But with the problem with that is the 220 league, I've not got players that are scoring low enough. So I'm struggling to enter that league. And with the 270, I can enter, but I kind of need everyone to have a good fixture. And this week, they just didn't have a good fixture. So I entered the 240, hoping these 4 players could get a really good score. And the goalkeeper can kind of like, we forget about the goalkeeper and we just try and hit the threshold of 280 points with 4 cards. So that's how I've done in the game weeks since my last video. Not really that great weeks. However, I've won a card from it, so I feel quite lucky to have come away from that with a card. So let's take a look at what I'm thinking for the next game week coming up, which is game week 437. These are my lineups that I'm kind of thinking about for game week 437. I'm not fully set on them for kind of what I mentioned earlier. Like, I don't still know whether I should go for the 270 and go and play without a goalkeeper and hope that the other 4 do really well, or do I play it safe and go for the 220 in the Premier League Specialist, where I can have 5 players that play. The problem is I'm not feeling too confident on any of the teams really this week. I don't think it's going to be another good week. I don't think I've got the cards. I think I need to wait for the likes of the Turkish league, the Belgium league to resume where I've got better cards. So if I entered this team at 220, it would be a bit of a gamble. I would be gambling that Calvert-Lewin, he's looked good. He had a goal disallowed in Gameweek 435, I think it was. He had a goal disallowed. VAR. I was very annoyed. Everton are playing well though. I am slightly worried that he might get dropped. In the last game, he was on the bench and Beto started. Now, there is a lot of fixtures over the Christmas period, so I'm hoping that that's just him being rested, because he still should be the main man for Everton. But I just think with all the fixtures, it's sensible for Everton not to play him every game, because with his injury record, you've got to be careful with him. So I'm hoping he plays, and if he plays, it's Wolves away, which Wolves are on a good run. But Everton are on probably a better run. So I'd captain Calvert-Lewin. I'd gamble that Kovacic plays for Man City, again, with all of these fixtures, and then playing Sheffield United at home. I'd gamble Pep plays Kovacic. It's a bit of a gamble. Kovacic, I'm losing a little bit of faith with him now. This Scottish midfielder is really annoying me. I thought he'd be better than he was. He's not been hitting the heights. If we look at his past scores, he's having a bit of a dump. I did get excited when he got a 53 and a 45. Maybe we're on a bit of a run, but he's back down to the 30s. I signed him here. I signed him when I sort of saw that he had low scores, but he peaked. Look at this. He was on a bit of a run of peaking, low, peaking. So if he could get back to being this player earlier in the season, this is what I want. He's not done that for a while now, so I'm losing patience with him. But his L15 is really low, so he's still making the teams because of how low his L15 is, and he enables me to have slightly bigger players. I would go with Riot in goal for Arsenal. Fulham away. Fulham have lost, I think, 3 in a row. So I'd hope that Arsenal could do well there. And then the defender slots. If you see who my defender options are, not that great defenders, because the only leagues that are playing are England and Italy. And I do like my boy at Fiorentina, but he's got a bit of an injury. I've got Chelsea players with injuries. Robertson's still injured. So the options would be him, Toffolo possibly at home to Manchester United, Mari away at Napoli. That just seems hard. So away at Udinese, Lucchini at Bologna looks like the best fixture. So this is kind of what I will be thinking for a 220 team. If I don't enter the 220 team, it would be the 270 that I go for. And that means I can play Sterling and Badiashile, who have Luton away. So Chelsea still not convincing, even though they won the last game against Crystal Palace. Still not convinced about Chelsea. But Luton away, even though Luton are picking up a bit of form, you'd kind of fancy Sterling, been rested in the last game. I'd captain him. This time he should definitely play. And then my goalkeeper wouldn't be playing, so I'd be hoping that Chelsea smash Luton and get a really high score. Mangala against Man United. Nottingham Forest, new manager, won their last game, hoping Nottingham Forest could pick up a bit of form. And Palhinha, even when Fulham don't do well, Palhinha seems to score well. They lost the last game. They've lost the last 3 games, and Palhinha's scores haven't been great, but he's got it in him. He's got a 79 here, 67 here. They lost here to Burnley, but he's still got a 55. So, again, I'm not feeling confident about any of my lineups this week. They're all a punt. Every lineup I would do would have a punt. The only other league I'll consider entering, because I'm not fully certain on the 270 league. I don't like entering a league where the goalkeeper's not playing. So the other league I would enter would be Premier League Specialist, which would look very similar to this. It would just be with a different goalkeeper and the same 4 players. Maybe I could fit Calvert-Lewin into this team instead of Mangala and sacrifice the 220 and just go for one league this week, maybe the Premier League Specialist. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to sort of see how confident I feel about Calvert-Lewin, because the problem is if I take Calvert-Lewin out of the 220 league, I've not got another striker to put in. The only 2 strikers I have are Calvert-Lewin and Sterling, who are playing. So I think these are the 2 leagues I can enter. The only other option will be swapping it for a Premier League Specialist. So not confident about this league. I'm kind of waiting for the winter break to be over and for all of the other leagues to get started again. That's kind of where I'm doing. But in the meantime, I'm going to be playing these guys. They might be able to pick up a few XP. And as last week proved, even if I'm not feeling confident on the team, maybe you get lucky. Maybe you win a card. Maybe you get some rewards. So you're up to date on my Sorare journey. It's my road to Sorare Boss. If you've liked this video, please give it a like, give the channel a subscribe. It's still a new channel. I appreciate all of the comments you've been giving me. I do reply to everyone in the comments. I love the advice. Follow me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Follow me over there where I kind of give you updates. I'll let you know my final lineups on X or on what I go for. So follow me there if you want and leave advice there. Otherwise, good luck with your Game Week 437s. I'll see you next week. Peace.